Welcome back to another episode, girlies. Today we are going to be talking about finding your purpose. That sounds really scary, but we kind of just want to give you guys a little bit of a different take on finding your purpose and also help you relax a little bit. I feel like there's a lot of pressure when you're young, when you're in your 20s, even your 30s, I'm going to say, because girl, I'm itching closer to 30 as every second passes. There is a lot of pressure though to feel like you have to have it all figured out, to feel like you need to know exactly what you're meant to be doing in this lifetime. And we want to kind of give you a couple of different tips and tricks. So if you feel like you're not on the right path, you don't know what you want out of your life, or you're just in the moment of trying to find your purpose, hopefully by the end of this episode, you walk away with some really tangible things.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this and you're like, is there something wrong with me that I don't know what I want to do just yet? No, you don't need to have it all figured out. And you can also change your mind. I think that when you finish school, there's a lot of pressure to make big decisions about university. And then there's potentially the fear that you might have of being like, what I'm deciding now is what I'm locking in for the rest of my life. And I just want to help ease some of that overwhelm or anxiety to just confirm that you can shift, change, and basically flip on your head what you think you're going to do. And you likely will. You'll probably go through many different iterations of career progression and also changing your mind. And I think that if I reflect on finishing year 12, I went and did a business degree. And while I did that, I thought I was going to get into event management. I did heaps of stuff around events at that time. And now I work in online coaching, completely different, right? And that's the things that you will gain as you figure out what you want will benefit whatever you do, which I think is a nice thing to think about. As long as you're trying lots of things, as long as you're getting better at, say business, or you're getting better at communication, whatever you learn along the way is going to just continue to compound to make you better at whatever it is that you do going forward. So to summarize my feelings on this would be that you don't have to have it all figured out. Give lots of different things a shot to see what you truly are really enjoying. And then if you are no longer enjoying something, or if you want to change, you can change. You're not stuck.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there's just so much pressure on like, oh, we need to find out exactly what our purpose is. And if we don't know what our purpose is, we're falling behind and we're failing. And like you could look around at all your friends who have done X, Y, and Z and they found their purpose, and it can be quite scary and quite hard. But I want to remind you guys that like your purpose as a whole is going to change as you evolve as a human. So when you think about your purpose through high school versus your purpose now in your early or late 20s, it's going to be vastly different. When you think about your purpose now before you become a mother, if that's one of your life goals, your purpose is going to change. It's going to be vastly different. Think about your purpose now when you're living in your home country and then you decide to move overseas. Your purpose is probably going to be vastly different. So I want you guys to relieve the pressure that you're putting on yourselves, if you are, that you need to have it all figured out. Because the reality is, how about you just let your purpose find you? And this is something that I always tell my business coaching clients is like, we think that we want to work with a particular client. And sorry, I'm just going to go for a little business tirade and it'll circle back in a second. You guys will get what I'm trying to say. But when we think about like figuring out our ideal client or figuring out what we're good at, we always think that we're good at a particular thing. When I think about when I first started my fitness coaching business, I thought that I wanted to help women gain weight. That was like my main goal. I was like, I just want to help women build muscle mass because that was the experience that I had in my fitness journey. Then when I started actually coaching people, I realized I was really good at weight loss, getting people fat loss results and absolutely changing their life. And I'm talking like very big, drastic weight loss results. And I realized that that was actually my zone of genius. And then my purpose shifted from just helping women gain weight to also helping women build the body of their dreams and become more confident in a weight loss aspect. So sometimes we are always on the hunt for figuring out what our purpose is, and we don't actually give ourselves enough breathing room to let our purpose find us. You guys know on this podcast, we always talk about the importance of your physical health, but what about your mental health? It's just as important, and honestly, it's sometimes harder to prioritize. I know for me, there've been times where I thought life would look a certain way by now, and when it didn't, I caught myself feeling behind or like I had failed. And that's when it hit me. Taking care of my mind had to be just as much of a non-negotiable as looking after my body. The thing is, therapy used to feel intimidating, but what I love about today's paid partner, BetterHelp, is how simple and accessible they make it. You can do it from home, on your own schedule, whether that's video, phone, or even messaging. So you can get the support you need without the stress of waiting rooms. So if if you've been putting off therapy or you feel like you've been waiting for the perfect time, this is your sign. Because just like training your body, investing in your mind changes absolutely everything. BetterHelp is the paid partner of this video, and they're on a mission to start making therapy easier. You can fill out the questionnaire and you'll be matched with a therapist as soon as possible. Easily switch therapists at any time with no extra cost if it's not the right fit. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3-star rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform that you can trust. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com.au/oiletstalk and get 10% off your first month of therapy. Even when I think about, what I do now, I started as a nutritionist. I went to uni, you guys know, went to uni, worked as a clinical nutritionist, become a personal trainer, did PT, did online coaching. Now I do a lot of business coaching. I do a lot of business consulting. I work with a lot of different service-based business owners. Sorry, guys. Coughing in HD, honestly. I work with a lot of different business owners in all different service-based industries. And my purpose has changed, but that found me. I didn't decide to start business coaching. People started asking me for business advice. And now I've realized, this is more so my purpose. Yeah, I still love fitness coaching, but this is the shit that I'm meant to be doing. Helping women build businesses and find financial freedom and go after what they want. That shit lights me up inside. Another thing as well that I like to think about when we're finding our purpose or trying to figure out whether or not what you're doing right now is your purpose and you are on the right track, is think about your life without that thing being in it. So for me, I always think, what would I do if I wasn't a coach? What would I do if I didn't have a podcast? And the only other thing that I would do is start my own stuffy rescue. That's the only other thing that truly would light me up inside. And that's when I know that this is my fucking purpose and this is my passion. Maybe a stuffy rescue center could be on the horizon and maybe sometime soon, who knows?
Potentially. I have 2 points. The first being that when you actively try to find a passion or try different things. If I think about where I've landed in my business at the moment, I used to hate the gym. Now my whole purpose is to help people fall in love with the gym and see how much that will benefit their life. But my passion is what led me to my purpose. And I had to kind of go through a level of discomfort figuring that out to then kind of realize, this is the thing that really makes me feel really good. And I also want to help other women feel that way. And I think that if you're currently in a job or maybe you're studying and maybe you thought that was the thing that was going to be your life's purpose or maybe the thing you were supposed to do, and you might be realizing, this is actually draining me more than it's energizing me, or it's not how I thought it was going to be. I know a lot of people think of what their job is going to be, and then when they start studying, they realize, it's actually way different. It's not actually what I want to be doing day in, day out. If that happens to you, just make note of that and don't feel like that you need to just stick with that career forever. Pay attention to the things that are lighting you up, the things that are exciting you. Actively try different roles, different things until you kind of feel in a position where you're like, I'm really loving what I'm doing. But on the flip side, you're probably also not going to love what you do every single day. There will always be challenges. I know that Kate and I speak about this a lot, where we'll have different things that come up, but it's more about as a whole, a bit of an overview, are you loving the direction of where you're going? And if that's a yes, then awesome. You're on the right track, acknowledging that there's always going to be struggles. And if you're doing something at the moment and you're feeling like it drains you and you're feeling like it's becoming a negative or it's just something that's actually impacting other areas of your life when you're not at work, then it's time to move on. It's time to study. It's time to try another role, a different position, and think about what's actually going to excite you.
And don't freak the fuck out. I think it's really easy to freak the fuck out when you feel like, oh my God, I've been doing this thing for the last 3 years or the last 10 years. And you're like, what am I without this thing, right? Whether it's your career, your job, wherever you're living, whatever. I think it's really, really easy for us to tie our identity to our job or what it is that we do. But I think when you're in the process of finding what you're passionate about, it's also okay, and you need to accept the fact that something that you were passionate about previously, you might not be passionate about anymore, but that doesn't mean that you're a failure. And it also doesn't mean that you can't try something else and that your life is fucking over, because that's not the reality. You're allowed to pivot and you're allowed to change. But also as well, you need to be able to clock it in the time frame of if you're really unhappy in your work, in your job, in your relationship, in the city that you live in, always have a choice, which I know might seem a little bit harsh, or, a lot of people act as if life is happening to them and not for them. But the reality is, even if it might feel really hard, and it doesn't mean you need to change today, you need to uproot your whole life and move to another country tomorrow, but it can just look like, putting some steps in place, starting to, go to different networking events to see if you would like working in this job, starting to, get work experience in different places, starting to travel a little bit more solo, whatever the thing is for you. But know that you always have a choice, and like finding your passion, finding your purpose, it's going to change. It's not cemented. It's not forever, but you're also equally not a failure if it doesn't work out the way that you wanted it to. I mean, when I started my nutrition job, I truly thought that was going to be my job for life. Like I thought, oh my God, like I've gotten a job as a clinical nutritionist. If you're studying nutrition and you live in Australia, you know how hard that is to find a job because there's no jobs as a clinical nutritionist. I got one and I was like, oh, like I should be really grateful for this. And don't get me wrong, I was, but there was also a sense of me where I was like, I don't appreciate this job at all because I hate it.
Yeah.
And like there's so many other women right now who probably want this job, or people who have studied the exact same thing as me that, I had friends who never got jobs as nutritionists after spending $30,000 on a degree because the jobs are so far and few between. And I'm sitting here with it literally given to me. I mean, I still had to apply and work for it, but like given to me essentially. And I was like, I don't even like this, and this is not my passion and purpose for life.
Yep.
And I remember feeling like such a failure. I was like, oh my God, like what is everyone going to think of me? What if I can't find anything I'm passionate about ever again? And don't get me wrong, I still do nutrition. That particular role, I was like, this is going to be my forever thing. And it wasn't.
I think we also, like on that breath as well, think about or acknowledge when it is that we're getting in our own way. Like say we're not passionate about what we're currently doing or we're unhappy. If you spend the next 3 to 5 years talking about how unhappy you are, talking about how much you don't enjoy what you're doing, but not proactively doing anything about it, there comes a point where that's on you. And that might suck to hear, but sometimes you need to hear that to move forward. So in the example of you're in a role, it's a bit scary changing that role because the security, we're not expecting you to do something rogue and just go and start fresh, quitting your job and stability. But there are things you can do. You could learn something on the side. You could even just getting access to going to an event of a different industry because you want to kind of be around people in that industry to see what it's actually like. There are little things that you can do to get a feeler for the different things that are out there. And you either do that or you will quite literally become a really negative person if you're constantly thinking, this is draining me, I don't like what I'm doing. Like there comes a point where you need to take ownership for what role you're playing in staying in that position and actively doing things to change that for yourself within reason, because you do have other options. And just because it's scary to change that doesn't mean we avoid it. If I think about when I quit my corporate job, people were telling me, why would you become a PT? PTs are a dime a dozen. Like I went to university for a business degree. It didn't make any sense. People were saying things to me, right? And at that point, like you might see now us thriving and things like that. But at that point, it was really scary. And I did a lot of things to kind of keep myself afloat during that time because there was levels of instability, but you had to go through that to get out the other side. So I hope that what Kate and I have spoken about can motivate you to move past feeling that way, to find your passion, to try new things, and to know that you're not truly stuck.
And what's that quote? Whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. Like that.
Yeah.
That quote burns in my brain because the reality is, like I said before, you always have a choice. And if you're not happy, if you hate your job, you hate your life at the moment, whatever the thing is, it's like you can choose different. And every single day that you decide to not choose to change the thing that you don't like, you're choosing to stay stuck. You're choosing to stay, in the spiral that you're in or in the place that you're in or in the job that you're in or whatever. So yeah, I really hope that this has kind of given you guys a little bit of, we can relax a little bit. We don't have to find our purpose straight away. And if the purpose that we thought was purposeful 2 years ago and it no longer is, that doesn't mean we're a failure.
And I wanted to end in terms of just comparison for anyone that's listening to this that, again, is feeling stuck or they want to make change and maybe they're following people who are thriving online or following people who seem really happy. Everyone has their own challenges. You're probably just seeing a glorified version of what they do for their job. You're probably just seeing a glorified version of the wins. But no matter what you do, no matter what job you work in, there's going to be hard days. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be things that aren't overly amazing. So just make sure you're aware of that and you're not just seeking the highs of hoping that things are always feeling really good, because that's not realistic either. And also a lot of the people that are in these positions have gone through this process that you're probably avoiding.
This is like one of the favorite things that I say to myself in my mind. I'm like, if that person can do it, like the person that I'm thinking about, I'm looking at on social media, who I compare myself to, whatever. It's like, if that person can fucking do it, I can as well. Because really, there's no difference between me and that person other than the fact that they decided to go after it and I decided to be a victim to my circumstances. Because everybody has shit that they've gone through in their life. And as soon as you can realize that, as soon as you can go, actually, my experiences are probably not that unique. I think that they are because I'm living them, but they're probably not that unique. You will be able to open more doors for yourself and you will have that fire to go, fuck it, you know what? If that person can do it, instead of me comparing myself and going, oh my God, she's so good at this and she's so good at that. It's like, well, if she can do it, so can I. If she can do it, that's my permission slip to prove to myself or that I need to be able to then go after it too.
Yeah, I always think that. I've always thought like if I look up to someone, I just think they just have a higher level of delusion. Like a lot of the time, it's just the fact that people are more ballsy or the fact that they back themselves a lot more. Because if you think on paper, same skills, same kind of background, it's like what sets you and them apart? A lot of it is just the fact that they're really consistent. They show up, they don't take no for an answer, they keep persisting, and they're the actual attributes beyond the actual skills required for a lot of jobs. It's a level of delusion that I think a lot of people require to own their own business.
It's like, what's that thing? It's like, it's delulu until it's Tarulu. What's that thing?
I don't know
or
what
like
that is.
It's only delusional until it works or whatever the saying is.
Yeah.
It's like some quote, you know. I saw it on Pinterest probably one time before. But yeah, I agree. I think, you know, comparing yourself, it's like what? Comparison's the thief of joy.
Yeah.
Thief of joy. But I'm really with my quotes today. It's giving Pinterest-esque. But comparison is the thief of joy, but also comparison shows you what's possible if you look at it through that lens. And I'm pretty sure that wraps up today's episode. I feel like we covered quite a lot.
Yeah, today. And if you haven't caught up in the last few episodes, I just want to make sure you girlies know that we are running a competition at the moment and we don't want you to miss out. It is an amazing opportunity to win 12 weeks of coaching from Kate or I. We're going to give 2 away, and what you need to do to apply, we'll put in the description, but a quick overview is make sure you're following The Kate Morris, Coach Gemma and Oi Let's Talk on Instagram and post us on your stories and tag us to get an entry. The more posts and tags that you do, the more entries that you will get, and we will draw a winner in September. So we're so excited for you. Make sure you get around that and we will see you next episode.
Love you. Bye.